Hello, everyone. Hello. Sky, your new handle is killing me. Hi, Praxis. Hi, Lily. Hi, Mike. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. I swear. It's too... Sky, your thing is too funny. It's too funny. Way too funny. I'm just trying to scroll up to the news that I consider current, because I think the missiles... hi, Thunderflex. I will explain everything about missiles with darts. Hi, Veronica. Hi, James. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Kate. Привет. Hi, Annette. Hi, Theo. Hi, oh my gosh. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Mark. Hi. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Morphel. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, everyone. Hi, James on YouTube. Hi, Gap. Hi, Lithuanian Ball. Hi, Auntie. And hi, Kathleen. Hi, Melly. Hi, Abe. Hello. So, fuck Putin. Yes, I agree with Puck Putin. Hi, Charles. Hi, Notabotter. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Joe. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Melaine. Hello, everyone. If you are on YouTube, you can see a little bit of Twitch and Twitter. You can see a little bit of Cindy in the background. Well, you can't anymore. Thank you, Annette. Thank you so much. I decided to experiment a little bit today with makeup. Well, for the most part, thank you, Annette. For the most part, because so I bought this eyeshadow and I had that like whole witchy makeup yesterday. And so this eyeshadow is like incredibly potent. And I even bought an oil-based cleanser for it, which I did not know was a thing. And the thing I needed, but I did not take off everything, so half of my eyes are still like pinkish undertone. Thank you, Karine, or hello, Karine, and hi, Lady Bubbly, hi, Crazy Cat. And so I looked quite literally sick because I had like a pink tint to my eyes, and so I decided to fight evil with evil, and I just kind of gave it a little more pink tint, and now it is what it is. So now we look slightly sick, but like sick and rocking it, So that's my look for the news today. Also, I apologize. I was 10 minutes late. I received a phone call from a friend who's not doing very well and had something major happen. And so I'm going to be meeting him today after the news. It's a very close friend of mine, and he's just having some personal situations and stuff like that. And I would really like to go talk it out with him because, good friend, want to help. And yeah, I haven't really been very present with my friends' lives because, I'm very busy recently and I'm kind of doing a lot, and everybody has been incredibly understanding of it, and everybody has been, hi, Brandy, incredibly supportive of everything I'm doing. But I also feel like, at this point, it's been 6 months, and within the last 6 months, I really haven't been present for my friends and for like supporting my friends. And I quite literally, genuinely only speak to my dad, my mods, because we've created a very great friendship and team. Hi, Seppo. And I speak to my mom. I speak to my grandma sometimes. Basically, I speak to family. I speak to my mods. I speak to my husband, and I maybe speak to like 2 friends. I forget to answer lots of messages. I answer lots of messages very briefly because I'm just, I'm just overwhelmed. I have way too much stuff to do, and not overwhelmed in like a bad way, but as in like, if I read something and I feel like I'm not mentally there right now to respond, and I will be like, oh, I'll respond later, unless I don't forget to mark it as not read it'll never get answered because I'll forget about it. So I've been doing that a lot with my friends, and I obviously understand that they're understanding and they don't take it personally, but they also, sometimes need me, and sometimes things happen that need attention more than just like oh, hello, how are you doing? And so I'm gonna try to balance everything better because I'll try to balance everything better because, well, it needs balancing, and I feel like can't just I can't just sort of bail on my friends, and I can't just, sort of like fully immerse myself into work and stuff like that, and absolutely, put everything else on hold, because it's not even, that friends are gonna like, it's not even that people are gonna eventually get tired of it, but it's just more like I feel like I also owe them my time because those are people that I care about. Okay. And also yesterday, something very sweet happened. I have a friend that I haven't spoken to in about 4 or 5 years. I'm very bad with dates, so I might be exaggerating, or I might not be, even close to reality with how long it's been, but it's been years. And they reached out to me yesterday, and I'm supposed to catch up with them tomorrow, which I'm very excited about because they were an incredibly good friend, and I'm very excited to see how they're doing. I hope that they're doing very well. So there's that going on. How are you guys? How is your weekend? How is your yes, I'm a vampire, and I just you think that you were offending me by saying that I look like I'm in my 60s or in my 70s, but that is the look I'm going for. And I'm a vampire, and I look this great at the age of 70. So thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. And for all of your efforts to try and take me down with something stupid that you say are really not going to result in anything but me and my narcissism feeling incredibly important, because you felt like you had to stop by and you had to tell me that, which means like, I captivate you so much and you just can't resist but stay and speak to me. So if you think you're going to take me down, you're only going to feed my ego. And oh, is it hungry? Oh, it likes dessert. And you are that dessert. I hope that made you feel better. Thank you. But anyways, so in the true grandma fashion, I'm going to take my meds right now. Not a goth auntie, a vampire, and I like to suck the life out of trolls. As my profession. My profession is sucking the life out of trolls, and I figured maybe if I look like I'm being reincarnated from the dead, maybe they'll be scared of me. Hi, Natlin. I've been getting under their skin since February 24th. It's cool. Yeah, you're very fast. I am a professional troll hunter. There was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Yulia the Troll Slayer. Yes, it is an SSRI. It is an SSRI. And no, I did not start taking it with the invasion. I have been a very happy user of this particular SSRI for a year and a half now, because I needed some balancing magic, some neuron response balancing magic, And boy, will I tell you, it is very balanced. Кейт, я можу, якщо ти хочеш знати більше, напиши мені, будь ласка, на Інстаграмі. Я відповідаю на Інстаграмі на всі DMs, і це дуже щасливо, коли люди мені пишуть. Я просто намагаюся трошки менше часу приділяти собі на цих стрімах і більше часу приділяти новинам про Україну. But yes, so today it's, thank you. I made it myself. Olgina Troll Factory, yep. But basically, what was I gonna say? I wanted to say that I lost my thought. Someone said art, and I was like, art where? And then I was like, oh wait, it's my art. I've never met an antidepressant I don't like. Well, I haven't met that many antidepressants, SSRIs are antidepressants, basically. They're stimulants. what was I gonna say? We're Buffy with Buffy. So yes, Yulia, the troll slayer. I wanted. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh, it's super hot in my apartment, and I am personally so hot. I'm like sweating, but I can't do anything about it because poor little baby was really sick, and his throat hurts, and he most likely has strep, and he's medicated for it now. He has seen the doctor, so he's going to be better soon. But the problem is that it has to stay hot in the apartment because he cannot tolerate the AC, which is understandable. But also, part of me is like, I totally get it. I totally get it. I very much get it. But part of me is like, I'm dying, and I need AC. Also, today, right after the stream, I'm gonna put together a video about Gorbachev. Another one. First of all, I'm gonna repost the video that was taken down by trolls for for glorifying violence. Glorifying violence. A video in which I condemn Gorbachev for violence in the USSR. But yes, for glorifying violence and for graphic content, which in TikTok's terms of service and community guidelines, it says that those are gore, bloody pictures that incite violence, glorify violence, promote violence, and those were pictures of tanks in the middle squares, in the central squares of Soviet cities. I didn't even put any gory images. There were no images of like bodies or anything like that. It was just tanks and people around them. But so I'm going to blur those and censor them for you, dear TikTok, because apparently history now is gory and violent and glorifying violence. But I'm going to repost that video because I think it's incredibly important, and I will ask you guys, even if you have seen this video before, please interact with it because it should be seen by more people. Heroyam Slava, Chris. And please still comment on it. Hi, Punk, and please still like send it to people and stuff like that because it was at like about, I want to say 10,000 views before. Let's make it more because a lot of people do support Gorbachev, and a lot of people think that he was this great man who wanted independence of the Soviet Union, which is utter BS. And I found some interviews with Gorbachev from the 1980s and even 2014 that prove that to you. They are obviously in Russian, but I am going to put subtitles on them, and I'm also going to put that video. I haven't decided yet which video I'll put first. Probably the Gorbachev video about him talking, the newer video first, and then I will repost the other video. So after this stream, I'm going to give you a very interesting bit of information. I'm not going to talk about it on the stream because, well, it needs to be translated, and I feel like I want you to see that bit of an interview, and I haven't like edited yet the shots because I had to film it from like a terrible angle, and I had to find it in like a video, and so I had to record a video of the video. Привет, Vyacheslav. And anyways, just give me some time to edit it and upload it. Hi, everybody on Twitch. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Hi, everybody on Twitter, if there are any. And hello, everyone on TikTok. Hi, Melissa. Yeah, a lot of people are triggered by true history. I mean, Germans love Gorbachev because he united Germany. Well, he did not unite Germany. He could not afford to keep Berlin anymore. And so he let go of it because it wasn't economically feasible anymore, and he was broke, and Soviet Union was broke, and so he did not let go of Berlin because he wanted to. He let go of Berlin because he had no other choice. Same happened with the Soviet Union, Heroyam Slava, but who is gonna thank you, Netlin. But who is gonna think about those things? People only think about Berlin and how he united Germany, but don't give him that much credit. He did not do any of those things. It's kind of like, saying that, like, let's say there was a man and he owned 2 buildings on the same block, and a hospital wanted the building from his block and he didn't want to sell it. But then he wasn't able to sustain his original building because the other building was draining too much money. And so he decided that he's going to sell that building for a ridiculous amount of money to the hospital, more money that they could afford, but he sold it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what a good man. He gave that building to the hospital. It's like, he didn't give it, he sold it. He didn't give it because he wanted to, because he was a good person. He gave it, because he sold it because he couldn't afford it anymore. Anyways, so this is just a graphic example because I feel like for some people it works better if things are visualized in examples and in metaphors or in parallels. So, I'll be drawing more parallels on this channel as well in order to kind of explain what's been happening to people. Thank you so much, everybody, for your gifts. Thank you, Rosie. I really, really appreciate it. I am going to set a life goal, but that does not mean that, anybody has to fulfill it. It's just there are certain things that I haven't seen that look really cool, and I'm just going to put them out there because I really like them. And one day someone might stop by and decide that, that they want to do that. But don't be pressured by life goals. They're just sort of there. Okay, so Adam, thank you for following. Hi, Melissa. Oh, Ticket. Thank you so much. And yeah, so sorry, I asked you guys how you were doing, and then I completely failed to read it because I went on a tangent as always. Hello ADHD. So how are you doing? How is your long weekend? What are your plans for Labor Day? I personally, I've developed a dislike for Labor Day 2 years ago when I started wearing white and beige in my everyday life, because those are my two colors, and supposedly, according to I don't know who invented that rule, you can't wear white after Labor Day. And I'm just like, it's like socially unacceptable. And I'm like, honey, I wear white all year round. Everything I own is white and beige with some strips of color sometimes. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. No, I wear white in the winter. I wear white in the fall. I wear white in the spring. I wear white in the snow. I wear white in the rain. I wear white literally all the time. So if you think that Labor Day is going to stop me from wearing white, you must be tripping on some medicines that I have not met yet. So yes, this is my idea of Labor Day. No, Labor Day is like a holiday. It's basically, it's a paying ode to labor and to, I want to say unions, right, Grumpy? Well, weddings, no. Weddings are the exception to wearing white, and you are allowed to wear white on during weddings, but like after Labor Day, it's like social etiquette says that you should not be wearing white. So Labor Day is when you wear white, and then after Labor Day, that's it. So yeah, and as Grumpy says, Labor Day is my favorite day of the year, celebrating what organized labor has done to improve society as a whole. Yulia was a Biden за Трампа. Oh, господи. Я терпіти не можу Трампа. Okay, so I'm actually going to translate this question, but a Ukrainian guy in the chat asked me if I'm for Biden or for Trump. And I don't think that you're prepared for the answer I'm going to give. Because you probably just wanted like me to say who I support, but I'm going to give you a bit of an extended one because you guys know I'm incapable of shortly answering questions, especially if they have to do with politics. So I absolutely, completely despise Trump, and I cannot believe that we as a modern society allowed a Simpsons episode to become reality and elected this person into the government. Well, I actually do, because electoral college is an incredibly outdated system that allowed for that to happen. And actually the minority of the country voted for Trump in 2016, and somehow he still became president. Not somehow, it's just rather that the turnout of young voters is very small, because we are majorly disappointed in politics and we feel like our votes don't matter, which they do. So we basically screw ourselves over by not showing up to vote. And that's how Trump became president. But I wish that never happened, because we would not be in the shit we are today if that didn't happen. But yes, I completely despise that man. I think that he's inept in a lot of things, not only politics. I think he's an inept businessman who's bankrupted every single business he has had. And I think that he has committed so many crimes that it's hard to count on your fingers, toes, and your neighbor's fingers and toes, and the neighboring family's fingers and toes altogether. And he had been bailed out of it because he is incredibly rich, and he had a dad, who basically bailed him out every single time. Hi, England. And I think that this time he is going to pay for everything he's done before, because he had allowed himself way too much. And before that, he had been allowing himself way too much, but it wasn't as crude and in government space. And now the government is like, well, we can't take it anymore because he's basically laughing at us at this point. And so we have to do something about it. And he has also committed crimes that are beyond the paycheck of, like, you know, beyond basically beyond the protection of just being rich. So, so yeah, there is that. And also, if you think that Trump is the best president you guys have ever had, then a harsh reality check is awaiting you. I'm not even going to say anything, but, like, you know, you enjoy that thought and you live with it. Привет, Ukraina. But basically there is that. And do I support Biden? I'm not a big fan of Biden, which, like, you know, I love that people who support Trump are always like, oh, but Biden this, but Biden that, and start like immediately criticizing Biden. It's like, guys, I don't know why you are trying to do that, but I am able of criticizing my party's, you know, forthcomers, and I'm able to criticize my president when I think he does a lot of terrible stuff or doesn't do enough. And I think that Biden, well, actually, up until recently, I had a lot of criticism for him, and I thought that he wasn't doing enough at all. And then I found a very interesting political analysis of what he has done so far. Now, I'm not a big fan of Biden, right? Like, I would rather a lot of other people than him, but he was the better of two people. And honestly, while I wasn't able to sleep at night when Trump was president, I am able to sleep at night when Biden is. I mean, I don't necessarily support everything he does, right? But also, like, I am not terrified for the outcome of my future and of the future of this country when Biden is president. But I also had a lot of criticism towards him up until recently. And then I stumbled upon a video basically breaking down everything he has done in this country since the beginning of his presidency. And I will tell you that our national debt was $4 trillion when Trump left his post as the president of the United States. And now it had gone down to $1 trillion. Now, Trump took the country with the debt of $500 billion. So in the course of his presidency, our national debt went from $500 billion to $4 trillion. And Biden had decreased that debt from $4 trillion to $1 trillion in the 2 years that he has been president, which is quite impressive, to be honest. And I think that a lot of us really, really, really dislike Biden, and we give him a lot of flack without actually looking into what he has done. And without actually looking into his presidency, because we are so incredibly traumatized, which is fine. Yeah, like we are basically like the people. We as people are so incredibly traumatized by what has happened to our country that I think that if we don't see immediate results that we're hoping for, we criticize a lot. You know, I think that we forget to look into what he actually does. He improved infrastructure, he improved employment, he decreased unemployment. So he got the country in one of the most terrifying states that you could imagine a president taking on the country, right? And to be fair with how ineffective I thought he was, he actually proved me wrong. And I can do a whole like live about American politics if you guys are interested in it, when we can go over every accomplishment that Biden has done versus like the things that we wanted him to do that he hasn't done yet. And we can, at the end of that stream, make a collective decision or a decision for ourselves, rather a decision for ourselves on whether he is effective as a president of the United States or not. Because honestly, my opinion of him, rather not of him, but of what he has done during his presidency has gone from like, oh my God, this dude, to like, okay, wow, I underestimated him quite a bit. And I feel like we keep underestimating him because we are capable of criticizing our candidates, right? Which is a good thing. We should be able to criticize our candidates, but I also feel like we're not giving him enough credit where credit is due. So with that said, I don't think Biden is my favorite choice, but I also think that he has done a pretty good job so far, and we fail to actually give him credit for it. So that's my opinion. And thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed. And if you guys want to, let me know in the comments to the YouTube video whether you want me to do like sort of a new stream, a separate stream on American politics. So yeah, if you want that to happen, then please yeah, comment below. Also, honey, $4 gas is not because of Biden. $4 gas is because of Putin and his invasion of Ukraine. So you guys literally have no idea what you're spewing about, and then you just keep spewing about it because you have no idea how politics works, how economy works, and how prices work, right? So if you think that that is because of Biden, then I would suggest that you go back and study a little bit of political science. And I never thought I would say that to anybody, because I feel like a political science degree sometimes can be a tremendous waste of money, because you basically pay to read books about current events, and you pay a lot of money to read and analyze the news, which you could do without actually paying so much money for it. And I feel like a history degree or a law degree or a degree in something like that to me is a little more interesting and a little more worth it. But that is just my opinion, and that is not to discredit anybody who does have a poli-sci degree. But in any ways, I just never would recommend to pay so much money for a poli-sci degree, because it costs a lot of money. And I would just say, if you think that Biden is the reason why gas prices are so high, then I would suggest you actually go and read a little bit about politics and how politics works. Because honestly, if that's how your thinking is, no matter who you support as a candidate, that is just a faulty thinking. And it doesn't matter whether I support Biden or Trump. If you think that that is precisely how a presidency works, how politics works, how economy works, and how prices work, then I genuinely suggest you go back to understanding poli-sci, and then you do an analysis, because it doesn't matter who you support. Spewing out basically misinformation really doesn't help anybody ever. So yeah, so let's do that. Let's make sure you understand politics, and then let's talk politics, okay? Because when you don't understand politics, there is no point for me to talk politics with you. Anyways, there was something that I wanted to bring up. So I brought it up yesterday as well, but oh my gosh, TikTok does not stop notifying me about it. But if you subscribed to my live subscription and you don't resubscribe, it does not automatically resubscribe you. So if you guys want to continue your subscription, which don't feel pressure to do it, but I just realized that TikTok doesn't really tell you this. It tells me. But if you want to resubscribe, you got to press that little start button in order to subscribe for the next month, because it's not going to automatically transition your subscription. So if your subscription is about to expire, like a couple of people in a day or two, it's not going to automatically renew if you don't renew it manually by pressing the star. So just FYI, again, no pressure. You do not need to, oh, you're updated automatically. Interesting. Because I keep getting notifications to let certain particular people know to renew their subscription, and I just thought that was how it worked. But anyway, so I guess some of them auto subscribe and some of them don't. So you might be one of those lucky people who didn't auto subscribe or who doesn't have an auto subscription. So if you wish to continue it, you gotta press the start button. Oh wow, interesting. It shows an auto renewal option for me. Oh, I see. Okay, so you can choose auto renewal and you can choose not to. Oh, okay, so that's a conscious decision. All right, so then that's good because it just keeps reminding me, and I thought that you have to press it every time. But gotcha. Okay, so you had the option to either choose auto renewal or not choose auto renewal. Okay, well in that case, you decided to do 1 month. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. I think that TikTok takes 20%. Вітання з Одеси. Вітання, привіт, Одесо. I have trust issues with auto renewals. Oh yeah, I can imagine. I do too. I also forget things and stuff like that, and then I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am paying for Disney Plus, and I only wanted to watch one movie. So, but there is a good app for that. I think it's called Truebill or something like that. It's called True something. I can look into it. But it basically like every month gives you like a breakdown of everything you pay on every card. It's $5.99 per month, George. You can look into like if you press the thing, it's not going to auto subscribe you. It's going to give you all of the options. But I don't like define the price. TikTok does. So basically yes. But it's I think $5.99 a month. Yeah, I think it's Truebill, and it basically gives you like an update, like a breakdown of everything you spend money of every auto subscription, auto renewal that you have on your card for every card that you have on file with them, and it'll tell you what you're paying for. And I think it's really cool. I'm actually going to do that for myself as well. I did try it out a little while ago, but at that point I wasn't really subscribed to a lot of things, so I didn't have to keep track of them. But oh, hi Nick. Oh my gosh, good to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Okay, so Supreme Maddie says, sorry if my comment got lost. I'm curious why you chose to leave Ukraine. I've answered this question before, but I'm going to answer it now, and then I'm going to put it into, so we have like frequently asked questions that mods now answer, because I feel like I go over them so many times, and I think that this is going to go into fact news. Yeah, TikTok takes 50% of gifts, but I think it only takes 20% of the subscription. I have no idea, because it calculates your earnings every like first of the month after like a month of consecutive subscription. So I'm not going to know anything until like next month, basically. But so yeah. But so basically, I am going to put put the answer to that question into FAQs. I love calling them FAQs. It's like, hey, here are our FAQs. I feel like all of the companies who have FAQs are like, oh my gosh, if you stop asking that, that's not what I'm saying. But anyways. But I chose to leave Ukraine because at the time that I was leaving Ukraine, I wanted to get education in psychology, and psychology as a degree was not necessarily super common in Ukraine. And we did not have a lot of like, well, you could study it, but it wasn't as like advanced as here in the United States. And I spoke English since I was a very, very young kid. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to study abroad, and I wanted to get education in psychology. I was never planning on like staying in the US per se. I was never planning on like just moving here indefinitely. It was done to kind of get a degree and get education. And so I came here to study psychology. While studying psychology, I found a passion for graphic design, and then I basically combined the two, and I had a degree in psychology and graphic design and started doing UX design before it was super popular. Just FYI. I was one of the originals. I'm kidding, but not really. I just don't have that much of an ego. But yeah, so basically I got thrown into UX design, and I applied psychology into design, and that's basically what I was doing. And then I graduated, I got OPT, I was working in the field, and I was working in the field, and then I just basically I married my husband. I married my husband, and now I'm here. Life basically happened that way. And I do plan on contributing a lot to rebuilding Ukraine and renewing Ukrainian infrastructure. I do want to have a lot to do with Ukraine in terms of like business and driving the economy and stuff like that. I'm just still figuring out how, because, I am just kind of stabilizing my own situation, and I'm not necessarily super ready to sort of invest into any economy, but I do want to invest a lot into Ukrainian economy as soon as I can. But I most likely won't be able to live in Ukraine, at least anytime soon, because there is a lot holding me here right now. And it's been 11 years, and I have a husband here, and I have a life that I have established, and I can't just pick up and go. But I am planning on being able to travel to Ukraine frequently and helping out. Frankly, right now I'm waiting for my biometric passport and permit to travel. And I want to go to Ukraine and help on the ground, because I That's my country. And also to Dr. Autophobic on Twitch, who says too loud. Well, then you can regulate the loudness. You can regulate the levels of sound on your computer by just pressing a couple of buttons. And also to you saying invest in Afghanistan, why don't you do that? If you care about Afghanistan so much, why don't you go online and start advocating for it? If you want to invest into Afghanistan, please do so. If you want to advocate for Afghanistan and you know the inner workings of the country, then please create a channel and talk about it. And I will so support you. But I am Ukrainian and I'm going to talk about Ukraine in my own country. And also, don't tell me where to invest in. I can do my own research. And again, if you care so much, why don't you go advocate about it? Because you telling me to not invest in Ukraine, but invest into Afghanistan on my stream is really not going to help Afghanistan by any means. It's not going to help Afghanistan. It's not going to help Ukraine. It's just going to make you a troll. So how about that? If you only invested all of the effort from my comments, into like doing something that matters, can you imagine how much you could change the world? A lot. But instead of telling me what to do, how about you pick up and do it yourself? So yeah, TikTok takes 30% of unsubscriptions. Okay, so that's not that bad, to be fair. That's better than gifts and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty good. Wow. So 70% profit. That's pretty good. That's actually much better than I thought. So that is a surprise for me. Yeah. Anyways, also, Honey Bunny, I will tell you, Afghanistan already happened and we can't change it. We can just deal with the consequences. But Ukraine is still happening and we can, in fact, changing. Well, I did not say I wanted to help devastated countries, although I do, but my entire channel is dedicated to the country where I was born, raised, and where I grew up, and the country that is my home and the country that is my citizenship, Ukraine. You might mistakenly believe that I'm American solely based on my pattern of speech. But if you would like to find out more about what I do, you can rewatch my streams. They're available on Twitch for the past 14 days because I saved them, and that's what Twitch does. And I am Ukrainian, and I advocate for my country, and I frankly don't think that I have enough prerogative and enough understanding of Afghanistan from the inside to advocate for Afghanistan or to tell people about Afghanistan. But I do have that about Ukraine because, again, I was born and raised there, and it's my country, and I'm a citizen of Ukraine, and I have only a Ukrainian passport. So yeah, I'm Ukrainian, and that is my country, and that is my cause, and that is what I care about, and that is the news that I talk about every day. Oh, hi, Who's News. Incredibly good to see you here. And thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad you caught the news stream as well. It's just a lot of people use, this particular person said that because they heard me say that I want to invest into devastated countries and most likely thought I'm American who's just talking about Ukraine because it's trending. So they suggested I invest into Afghanistan. But a lot of people use that as a deflection. So that's why I paid so much attention for it. And Привіт, Миколаїв, дуже приємно вас бачити. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to deep dive into the news from Ukraine today because we have done 40 minutes of catching up today, which is twice the amount of catching up that we normally do. So let's deep dive into it. So we're going to start off with not such great news, but I am doing some. Normally I do news within the past 24 hours. This is a little earlier than that because I just some news came out yesterday after I did the news stream, and I still want to elaborate on them because I think they're important instead of just taking the news that came out today. So more than 50 explosions. The Russians have shelled Chernihiv region, head of the regional military administration. The Russians have carried out massive shelling of the Novhorod-Siversky community of Chernihiv region. Residential and farm buildings were damaged. This was reported by Vyacheslav Chaus, the head of the Chernihiv regional military administration. There were no casualties among the civilian population. Only residential and farm buildings were damaged. International organizations will help Donetsk region survive the winter. Head of the Donetsk regional military administration, Pavlo Kirilenko. Thank you. Our partners from the UN and its specialized divisions from the USAID, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and the International Organization for Migration and the non-governmental organization People in Need have a strong intention to support us this winter, the hardest in all years of independence, said the head of the regional military administration. Pavlo Kirilenko emphasized that the region is facing serious challenges in the context of the supply of municipal services, especially heating as well as electricity, water, and gas. The support of international organizations can significantly accelerate the solution of these problems, he noted. Whataboutism never takes a day off. Oh, whataboutism, Russian trolls, Trump trolls, they never have days off. I feel like in this economy, all they can do is take as many tasks as possible, especially in Russia, because, you know, those rubles an hour, they matter. Those hours matter for the rubles, you know. All measures in how much vodka you're going to be able to get at the end of the day. So you've got to do that. Hi, Isaac Newton. Good to see you. The Kakhovka operational group. Russian invaders have shelled Dnipropetrovsk region again. As a result of shelling in the town of Zelenodolsk, 9 people were injured, including a 10-year-old boy. All of them are in a hospital, the Post says. The invaders bombarded the town with Uragan multiple rocket launchers using cluster shells. Hi, Mariana. Thank you so much. Residential and administrative buildings, as well as industrial infrastructure facilities, were damaged in the town. Press service of the Ukrainian air assault forces. Mykolaiv paratroopers destroyed 2 Russian tanks along with their crews. The joint and coordinated masterful work of paratroopers, artillerymen, and the attached artillery unit is shown in the video. As a result, 2 tanks and their crews were destroyed. Several Russian invaders were also killed during the fire contact. The press services reported. Now, I'm going to take this video and I'm going to show it to you on YouTube, as you know, full size. And I am going to do that way because I feel it's my on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter can see it full screen. I wish I could do it for everywhere as well, but I can't because unfortunately on TikTok, there is no ability to do so. So if you would like to watch things full screen, please, if you would like to watch things full screen, then please go to YouTube. Why is it unable to share the video? I don't understand. Please try again later. Oh, weird. Okay, well, so this particular video for some reason doesn't want to be shared, and I'm going to show it on the screen on the iPad. But normally, if you guys want to see something full screen, please go to Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter. This news stream is available in 4 different locations simultaneously for your convenience. So hopefully that is good for you. Привіт, Україно. Thank you, Amanda. Oh, there's so many Putin fanboys, Isaac. Hi, Luann. Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much. Hi, Smiley. So this is the work of the Ukrainian air assault forces. Border Service of Poland. Almost 6 million Ukrainian citizens have already crossed the Polish border since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Привіт, Kharkiv. Героям слава. At the same time, 22,200 people crossed the border with Poland on September 2nd, while 25,700 people arrived in Ukraine from Poland. I'm not working, so Crazy Joe can give refugees our money. Now the war is over. Go to your country. Oh, hello. I have a troll on YouTube. Hello, good to see you. How are you doing? The troll says, I'm not working, so Crazy Joe can give refugees our money. Now the war is over. Go to your country. I think the war is over, so you can go back to your country. Honey, first of all, baby frogs, baby honeys. You say I'm not working, so Crazy Joe can give refugees our money. Well, I am working, and you know what I'm doing? I'm paying taxes. You know where these taxes go? To you. So if you're not working, you're receiving money from me because I pay my taxes, unlike you. So if you want to go back to employment, please go do so, and please go support yourself, because quite literally, I'm tired of supporting you, born in the USA. See, you were born here, yet you don't do anything to support your country. See, I was not born here, but what I do is I pay taxes so your lazy ass can keep existing. So if anything, you go back to working, get up of your couch, get out of your house and go do something productive for the society, and stop telling me what I should be doing while I am paying taxes, and while I am giving you an opportunity to live and survive and probably pay for your EBT. So you are welcome for that pack of cigarettes, and you are welcome for that chicken nuggets that you had today. So while we are done with this stupid situation now, do you have anything more to say? Because I personally don't, and there is nothing else to be said. So goodbye, enjoy your day, go smoke a cigarette. Goodbye. Please don't tell me what to do while I actually am a more productive member of society than you are. Goodbye. Anyways, now that I'm done, the Ukrainian military shot down a Ka-52 helicopter in the Donetsk region. This was reported by the Ukrainian Air Force. The Ka-52 Alligator is a new generation Russian helicopter that has been in service since 2011. It has a laser-guided cannon, anti-tank missile system, and other armaments. The cost of one unit is about 16 million. I have nothing against chicken nuggets, Artemosha. I have a lot against chicken brain people that buy those nuggets. So, you know. Anyways, for our brothers and sisters, for the bombed out cities, such inscriptions are written by our soldiers on military shells. After all, not a single crime committed by Russian troops will go unpunished. So let me see. This is Ukraine now. You know that I really like their videos. I think they're incredibly informative. So let me see if I can put it on full screen, because for some reason my iPad really did not want to send it to over to my computer, which I really don't appreciate, iPad. You know, that is really rude of you. So let me see if it's going to let me do it now. Whoa, yay! We're back in the game. So I am going to, as usual, play it to you on TikTok here. But if you want to see it full screen, go over to TikTok, to YouTube, to Twitch, or to Twitter. They're all under the same name, and they're all being streamed simultaneously. So if you prefer any one of these platforms, you have the option to watch it there. Okay, so here we go. So basically, these are, you know, I don't know if you remember what Russians were doing in the beginning of the invasion, but they were signing the shells and being like, oh, for Bandera, oh, this shell is for your children. So like, you know, it was meant for children, not as like a revenge for, you know, Ukrainian forces unaliving Ukrainian children, but like basically Russians were sending this missile to children. So Ukrainian forces have responded, and they said for the border, for Kherson, for Crimea, for this. And so basically these munitions are being signed for what they're flying back, for what they're flying there for, you know. Basically, we're kind of letting them know specifically for what reason they're receiving this gift. So this one is also very good, and I also really wanted to show it. So let me see if I'm able to do it full screen, because I personally just think it's a very, very good piece of photography. kind of showing you the work of Ukrainian military aircraft, which I also want to say that our Air Force is so incredibly skilled. I watched a documentary about Operation Azovstal, which I would recommend everybody to watch. It's very long. It does have English subtitles, and it's called Operation Azovstal, literally. And oh my gosh, there is a troll on YouTube. Peace be upon us. Stop shouting warfare and no to war. Peace be with you. If you want peace, you're going to give Ukraine weapons so people stop dying in concentration camps in 2022. All right, are we done? Goodbye. Anyways, yes, it is on YouTube, and it's called Operation Azovstal, and it shows you basically how the helicopters and helicopter pilots and the people who volunteer to drop into Azovstal and bring reinforcements, how they did it, why they did it, how they felt while doing it, how difficult this mission and operation was. And to be honest, it was tremendous work. It was incredibly difficult. And the aircraft had to fly so low to the ground. It basically touched trees, it touched the ground. The pilots did such an incredible job. So basically, there we go. I will show you the video because I think it's incredibly important, and I think that you guys will enjoy watching it. This is an incredibly masterful skill because they're super low to the ground in order to not be spotted, in order to not be taken down. Suka Blat on YouTube over here asks me if those missiles had my husband's name on it. No, they did not. My husband is not in the military, nor is he Ukrainian, but, they're going to have your name on it because at some point, you're going to be drafted into the army because, your troll warfare is not going to be bringing Putin the results he wants. And so he's going to be sending all of you to the front. So I suggest go buy some good winter military uniform because you're not going to be given it. And if you don't experience a munition shell in your face, you're gonna experience Ukrainian winter. And I'm gonna tell you, in the summer uniform that the Russian army so generously provides you, you're gonna freeze to unaliving. Anyway, so if I were you, I'd stop being so condescending and I'd start thinking about your future because at some point, my dear trolls, you're gonna become cannon fodder yourself. Have a good day. I'm sure you haven't thought about it while receiving your 5 rubles and drinking vodka, but that is something worth thinking about because, they do keep saying that they're very disappointed with the amount of people who were not willing to go to the army from Moscow and St. Petersburg. And guess who's gonna be next? You. Bye. Anyways, the watermelon season has started in Kyiv Zoo, and if that does not remind you of Cine, I don't know what will. Oh my gosh, we have so many trolls on YouTube. So pleasant. They get blocked here and then they migrate to YouTube. This one says Ukraine was the capital of sex tourism. Well, hey, honey, I know that that's what you're used to seeing on the streets of Moscow, St. Petersburg, Novosibirsk, Huyuplatsk, or whatever other brilliant names you have for your cities. But that is it, just because that's what happens in your city does not mean that it happens in Ukraine. And also, I don't know where this new troll rhetoric originated. Like, they're trying to be original. They're now saying that Ukraine was the capital of sex tourism. And I'm like, honey bunny, just because profure are standing on the streets of Moscow everywhere you look does not mean Ukraine has the same problem. Just because green card marriages and mail order brides are one of the most popular things in Russia since 1991, does not mean Ukraine has the same problem. Just FYI, since you did not know this information, in Ukraine, a wife and a husband are equal, a man and a woman are equal, as many women have education as men do. If you look at the Ukrainian parliament, you have a lot of women working there. If you look at the business owners, most women own businesses. If you look at Russia, unless your husband literally unalives you, you cannot report him for domestic violence. So I understand that hurts you really much, because it was one of the most popular destinations in Russia, and now people can't come do it because sanctions. And I understand it must personally hurt you, because probably Profura are not interested in you anymore, and you can't even take them, and you can't even pay. And they're probably unemployed and back to Novosibirsk from Moscow, where you live, where you work, and they're not standing in front of the troll factory every evening for that, big money, cash money. I get it. It's personal for you, but please, honey, don't reflect. Reflection is not helping anybody. Oh my gosh, prostitution in Ukraine is illegal but widespread and largely ignored by the government. In recent times, Ukraine has become a popular prostitution and sex trafficking destination. From BBC News. Oh yes, also Amnesty International was telling you that. Ukrainian military are forming bases in schools. Yes, we can totally trust these sources, and also we can totally trust that while Russia was spreading all kinds of lies about Ukraine, and while Russia was rewriting Ukrainian history, BBC and CNBC and CNN and Fox News were not singing the same history this entire time. So please spare me, dear troll. I understand that it's hard, that realistically prostitution in Russia is not illegal and is widespread and is largely ignored by the government, because those same government people are using those prostitutes. And I understand that in recent times, Russia has become a popular prostitution and SES trafficking destination. I understand, and I know it hurts, and I know reflection is very easy to do, but please stop, because it is not, it is not cute anymore. I need some Xanax, girl. I need some Xanax. No, thank you. I have Zoloft. I like it better. But if you want to pay for my next batch of medication, I do have a PO box where you can send a check, and I do have a PayPal where you can send a donation. All in my link in bio. I will take it. Medicine these days, it's not cheap. Oh my gosh, there's so many trolls on YouTube today. I am loving it. Is it true that Ukraine, specifically Odessa, is flooded with SEX tourists from Turkey? Well, first of all, Odessa is spelled with one S. Okay, let's address that first. Let's address grammar first. Odessa, Odessa. Odessa is spelled with one S. Second of all, Odessa is flooded with tourists from Turkey that open nightclubs, that open restaurants, that open all kind of entertainment businesses. But people in Russia love to take it and say, SEX tourists from Turkey go to Odessa. Look, we can give you so many photos of Turkish people on the streets of Odessa. You know what they do there? Open nightclubs. I can show you photos of foreigners in LA and be like, LA is full of sex trafficking tourists from New York. Like, New Yorkers just go there for, SEX tourism in LA. I can find you proof of that too. I can find you guys from New York who have slept with women in LA. I can find you women from New York who have slept with guys in LA. Sex tourism. Yes, there are a lot of Turkish in Odessa. There are a lot of Turkish people in Odessa because the climate is similar and nightclubs are profitable. So are restaurants and so are hotels. Do they have sex? Probably. They're humans, Is it because they come there for sex tourism? No, they come there to open businesses. If they stay there for a year, they're probably going to have sex at least once. I mean, you might not know about that. That might be very, 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 very often for you, but you know. Anyhow, for the rest of you, I am gonna block you because I'm just tired of answering the same thing on repeat, and I'm tired of, I feel like I'm breaking your little troll dreams and I'm breaking the script too much, so I'm just not going to engage anymore. So, you know, bon chance, bon voyage, and my lovely moderators on YouTube are gonna take care of you. Anyways, why do people call Ukraine the Ukraine? Because Russia referred to it as the territory, but it's a country. And it's also, a lot of people just don't know and call it the Ukraine because the United States, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates. But what is missing there is United, which is the adjective, or the Netherlands, plural. Ukraine is like Uruguay and like Uganda. No, the. But also in the case of Ukraine, calling it the Ukraine. Calling it the Ukraine because of it's derogatory, because, you know, the territory. Anyways, oh my gosh, Berliner. Right. You want me to believe that you're from Berlin, right? Sprechen Sie Deutsch, mein Schatz? Ich spreche Deutsch. Ich habe Deutsch studiert aus Schule für 11 Jahren. Ich mag Deutsch. So let's, you know, let's talk in German a little bit, Berliner, because you 100% are not a Russian troll trying to put a German name into your handle. Anyways, please just block them. Yeah, dude keeps making new accounts. That's fine. That's you. I mean, hey, that's dedication. I can give him that. That is very dedicated. Anyways, На парсалтанге не могу. На жаль. Oh my gosh. Artemosha on Twitch is saying, can you speak parcel tongue? You know, I mean, I would love to. Actually, no, I wouldn't, because that would make me a dark wizard, and I would like to say that I'm the Wizard of Light. And I'm only dark when it comes to Russians. The Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, arrived for the farewell ceremony of Mikhail Gorbachev. My favorite. Again, releasing 2 videos on Gorbachev later today. Please interact with them so more people know. Oh my God. Hey, sir, can I contribute some antidepressants to your cause? Because honestly, this is the 7th time you create an email after being blocked. I mean, there is a difference between determination and there is a difference between a diagnosis. And I feel like I'm gonna diagnose you with a manic episode. Can I please send you to my therapist and she's gonna prescribe you some medication that's gonna help with this manic episode? Because it is honestly getting out of hand and I feel bad for you. Ukrainian activists continue to spread Ukrainian symbols in Russian-occupied territories. Kherson is Ukraine, and these are some photos from there. Тобі треба більше води набрати, якщо ти хочеш підігріти, бо ти зіпсуєш чайник. The Ukrainian military destroyed more than 2,000 Russian tanks. This, for example, is more than during the largest tank battle in history. At that time, the Soviet army lost 1,000 tanks. Thus, Russia lost 10.1 billion only because of the destroyed 2009 tanks. Ukrainian defenders eliminate the invaders in a spectacular way, and this is the one thing we all love to see. The poof, I call it. The poof. How pretty. Bloomberg, India has sharply slashed its purchases of Russian oil after the visit of US officials. During last week of August, oil shipments from the Russian Federation to Asian customers fell to a minimum since the first month of the war. Russian oil deliveries to India dropped by 40%. General Staff, the Armed Forces of Ukraine, destroyed the facility housing Russian special forces. On Saturday, the armed forces attacked 3 command posts of the occupiers and destroyed the enemy personnel facility. Hi, Roman. Olena Zelenska continues video conversations with representatives of different countries who joined this year's summit of First Ladies and Gentlemen. During the last First Lady of Ukraine talked to the spouses of the heads of states and governments of Belgium, Austria, North Macedonia, Spain, and Serbia. The purpose of these conversations is to consolidate and deepen cooperation between the countries in the humanitarian, cultural, educational, and social fields, as well as in the field of mental and physical health. By joining our efforts, we will be able to rebuild Ukraine's human capital and learn lessons that will help overcome possible future global crisis, said the First Lady of Ukraine. Russian troops do not allow humanitarian cargo to enter the occupied territories of the Zaporizhzhia region, Mayor of Enerhodar. The occupiers are trying to set out conditions on import into the temporarily occupied territory, but we managed to send 2-3 buses and other vehicles to bring food, medicine, hygiene products, and baby food in small batches, said Metro Orlov. IAEA says Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant again lost connection on the last main external power line. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant once again lost connection to the last remaining main external power line. At the same time, the plant continues to supply electricity to the Zaporizhzhia thermal power plant through a reserve line. This reserve line can also provide backup power to the ZNPP if needed. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The Armed Forces of Ukraine fought off enemy attacks near 7 populated areas in the east. The units of the defense forces hold their positions and prevent the enemy from advancing deep into the territory of our country, the message reads. Also, the Armed Forces of Ukraine inflicted damage on 3 control points of the invaders and destroyed the facility where the enemy personnel was accommodated. As a result of Russian shelling in Zelenodolsk, Dnipropetrovsk region, a 9-year-old boy was unalived. And 10 people were injured in the community, according to Valentin Reznichenko, the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration. Hi, Cherokee. Drones with Ukrainian engines were shown at a technology exhibition in Turkey, Ambassador Vasil Bodnar. A special place among Baikar's products, along with the well-known Bayraktar TB2 UAV, is occupied by the operational Akinci aircraft and the promising Kizilelma aircraft, which use Ukrainian-made engines, noted the diplomat. Thank you, Silver Knight. Also, thank you, everybody, for your gifts. I'm sorry if I don't say thank you if I don't see them. I'm just a little too preoccupied by reading, but it does not mean that I don't appreciate them. Thank you very, very much. Modeling the enemy vehicle movement, blocked Kerch Bridge, and controlling occupation logistics. Natalia Homanyuk, head of the Press Center of Operational Command South, spoke about the situation in the south of Ukraine. The occupying troops of the Russian Federation modeled the collection of equipment in the Kherson region in order to boost the morale of their demoralized soldiers. The invaders blocked the Kerch Bridge as they used it to take away families and looted goods, as well as their reserves. The defense forces constantly hit ammunition and equipment transported by the occupiers to the front line. Our soldiers see and control the logistics component of the enemy. The armed forces are now conducting positional battles, and the front line itself is mobile. General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russian railways must find up to 10,000 volunteers for the war in Ukraine. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces, the Russian railway company received orders to find up to 10,000 volunteers among its civilian employees for a short-term contract for the war in Ukraine. So as I said, dear trollops, now they're looking at the railways. Soon they will be looking at the troll farms, because you know you are dedicated Russian patriots. Who better than you to go defend your country on the front lines? Defend, you know? Who better than you to go offend Ukrainian people? You already do it verbally, and now it's only a matter of time until they start hiring you as a volunteer to the front lines. So while you laugh at me and while you sit here and send me all of these gross messages, guess who is gonna laugh last when you are forced to go to the front lines? Oh yes, if you answered me, you were right. I will be laughing very, very loudly because, oh well. I'm so glad you got that job, and I'm so glad you were so condescendingly sitting on your couch in Moscow or Novosibirsk or whatever it is, Voronezh, and you were, thinking that nothing will happen to you. But also you, out of all people, you know that Russia ain't winning. You know exactly what's happening because you have the access to the news and you have to come up with propaganda statements. So good luck, bon chance, and bon voyage. Anyways, let me move this camera a little down because I feel, better, much better. Okay. Also, this is Cindy's toy over here, It's, Sinunya, here, take it. Sinunya. Listen, people, listen, Russian trolls on YouTube who are trying to host a Ukrainian woman aged 25 as a priority and not even consider Ukrainian men. This is quite literally that sex trafficking that you guys were talking about, so please leave. Hi, Jeremy. Institute for the Study of War says the Ukrainian military is hampering Russian troop deployments with limited attacks in the Zaporizhia region. Operational Command South, the Air Force of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, struck the Russian manpower and equipment concentration areas, strongholds, and command posts 24 times on the southern defensive lines. The Wall Street Journal says the counteroffensive of the Ukrainian armed forces in the south direction is proceeding according to the agreed plan. At the moment, the armed forces do not have enough weapons and resources to carry out a larger operation. Germany to allocate $200 million to help displaced people in Ukraine. The Insider published a video of Russian multiple rocket launchers operating from the territory of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. It was filmed on the night of September 2nd to 3rd. A team of experts from the conflict intelligence team studied the video and concluded the Zaporizhia NPP pipes are visible in the frame. The footage is taken from the opposite bank of the Dnipro River, and the camera is pointed to the south. It means that the launch site of the multiple rocket launchers is to the west of Zaporizhia Thermal Power Station, where the nuclear power plant is also located. So that is proof that Russians are the one who are doing the shelling from Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, not Ukrainians. Take a look. They're so bad at propaganda, it's not even funny. It's quite upsetting, really. For them. Great for us. 1 second. 1 second. Hello, YouTube trolls who are asking me questions you know I'm going to yell at you for. All I have to say is thank you for bettering my engagement before you inevitably get blocked. No, it's not a photo. It does, it's just very, very slow. It's not a photo though. You will see a missile right here. 1 sec. John Kirby, Putin could end the war today if he agreed to withdraw his troops and voluntarily sit down with Zelensky to negotiate the end of this conflict. Oh yeah, we know, but here's the thing. That would mean Russia's complete default and defeat, and he knows that. So he is going to use all of the last despair that he has. One of the Russian missiles hit a restaurant in the Kyivsky district of Kharkiv on the night of September 4th. Almost the entire area of the complex was engulfed by fire. Rescuers prevented it from spreading to the woods nearby. Due to the lack of high-precision weapons, the Russians more often use outdated S-300 anti-aircraft guided missiles. More than 500 such missiles have been fired at the territory of Ukraine, some of which have failed to reach their targets. The Russian invaders have several thousand such missiles in their arsenal, but most of them are unserviceable. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported this. Video of the shelling of Zelenodolsk, Dnipropetrovsk region has surfaced. A 9-year-old child was unalived in the square that was shelled by Russia. Here's what that looks like. Take a look. Ukraine's air defense shoots down up to 70% of Russian missiles. Hello. Ukrainian anti-tank gunners are masters of their craft. Rostislav, an anti-tank gunner of the 80th Separate Air Assault Brigade, told us about what their job is, how to hit hostile targets, and how much anti-tank weapons weigh. So here, let me download this video. This is another video from Ukraine Now, and you guys know that I really, really like this news source. I think it's incredibly useful, and I think it is incredibly well put, and I think that it provides a lot of really great information. So let me show this to you. Let me just send it to myself. Okay, and I'm, as you know, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, it's going to be full screen. So if you'd like to see full screen, please go ahead and transfer it there. On TikTok, I'm going to show it a little bit differently, like this. I am going to kind of try and do my best to give you the best angle possible. Let me do, oh, not flip camera, no, mirror your video though. No, oh my gosh, this thing really hates me. All right, so, okay, and yes, a 9-year-old did get unalived during that. You were right, James. Okay.
Ми працюємо з озброєнням таким, як Стугна П-111-1, яке трошки габаритне, але все переноситься на наших руках, розставляється в позиціях. Потрібно бути завжди скритим, мати хороше терпіння і спостерігати. Спостерігати як і за установкою, спостерігати із закритих позицій, виявляти танки, підбирати правильну позицію, часто її змінювати для того, аби уражити ворожі цілі. Вся в зборі орієнтовно близько 100 кг, тобто це розділяється на 4-5 чоловік. Це треба все нести на плечах, помимо тому йде амуніція, йде озброєння і пересуваємось бігом, пішком, повземо, по ситуації. Плюс зараз в таку погоду воно дуже виснажує. Але воно зразу все комплексується тим, коли знищуємо техніку. Танки, БТРи, БМП, БМД. Можливо, також можемо вражати і низькозавислі літальні апарати. Самі орки, так сказати, м'яко, вони всі бояться Стугни. Їх ціль номер 1 – це знищити нас. Тому що ми можемо їх знищити з будь-якої позиції. І ми по ним стріляємо, і вони нам нічого не можуть зробити.
Okay, well, so that is the work of Ukrainian anti-tank gunners, and I think they're doing an incredible job, and they're very well trained. Listen, come here, baby, come here. Sorry, one second. Cindy, come here, baby, come here. Sina. Okay, fine. Let me grab Cindy a piece of ice. Cindy. I know you want some ice. I know you do. I know you do. I'm going to give it to you. I know you do. Come on. Come on, Sin. Come on. Okay. Cindy likes ice a lot. It's one of her favorite delicacies. So anyways, the EU is ready for a complete suspension of Russian gas supplies thanks to its storage facilities and energy-saving measures. Sumy Regional Military Administration reports that there were about 100 missile strikes from multiple rocket launchers, self-propelled guns, and mortars on the territory of the region overnight, coming from Russians. The Russians hit a grain elevator in the Mykolaiv region, destroying several thousand tons of grain. Around 2:30 a.m., Mykolaiv was subjected to a massive missile strike with S-300 systems. Привет, Victor. According to the Regional Military Administration, 3 medical and 2 educational institutions, a hotel, a museum, and a residential building were substantially damaged. No casualties were reported, thankfully. Sinister Minister, yes. A Russian missile launched from Crimea fell almost immediately after its launch on the territory from which it was launched. Residents of temporarily occupied Sevastopol reported the Russians fired rockets the previous night, and one of them fell down immediately after launch. So here's what that looks like. Take a look. This one was more about the sound than the visuals. If you could see, the visuals were in the beginning. I'll let it play again. Let me do this again. See? You can kind of see it right in the beginning. A little bit. And then the sky goes dark. I'm not sniffing the iPad, you weirdo. Volodymyr Zelensky hopes that the new British Prime Minister Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak will follow Boris Johnson's example in supporting Ukraine in its war against Russia. The people of Great Britain should know that every day of the fight for their existence, Ukrainians are infinitely grateful to your country. But I also believe in the power of personal leadership. I know how difficult it was for Boris Johnson as he faced many domestic challenges. Defining priorities, supporting Ukraine required great courage and determination, he said. Here is an interesting thing that I want to say. I think that we need to start rebranding the way that we talk about this invasion. It's not Ukraine's war against Russia. It is Russia's war against Ukraine and Ukrainian defense from Russia. It is a full-scale invasion, violent, armed invasion by Russia onto Ukraine, and it is Ukrainian defense against the violent, full-scale armed invasion. So I think that it is crucial and essential that we call it what it is. And I think that there is a huge language barrier where Ukrainian ministers and Ukrainian officials try to do just that, but often fail because of the language barrier, right? And I see it very much when I work in voiceover now, because I do a lot of edits for the things that I do voiceovers for, because they are very well written, and they're very well written by someone who quite obviously learned literary English, but they don't speak the way that we would speak during the day. Right? So I do these little edits for them before I record voiceovers. And so now I'm starting to see more and more how much of that I see within our government and within our officials, speaking to people on Twitter, speaking to people on social media, and speaking to people on news channels, if they choose to speak English rather than have it translated. I think Russia just stormed the Ukrainian offensive into jelly. Why? Why are you seeing that? Because you saw 3 tweets on Twitter showing injured Ukrainian soldiers? But well, it is a war, my honey. It's not going to be rainbows and butterflies. People are going to suffer, unfortunately, thanks to Russia. But, if you think that Russia turned Ukrainian offensive into the jelly, then I suggest you see a therapist, because you might be schizophrenic and you might be having visual hallucinations. And I'm very serious about that. If you would like to have a psychotherapist who can diagnose you with that, you can DM me on Instagram and I will gladly respond and gladly help you find one. Are we done? Are we done? No? The Russians have placed military bases in schools of Melitopol, City Mayor Ivan Fedorev. 5 schools will definitely not work as there are military bases, barracks and ammunition depots of the Russians in the center of the city. Oh, look at that! Russians are endangering civilians and children by putting military bases into center of the city of Melitopol. Amnesty International, where are you? Where are you? You should be reporting on this. Big news. I don't understand. You were so quick to make these things up about Ukrainians based on faulty research. Where are you? I'm going to go post it on Twitter and I'm going to tag you in it because where are you? You need to know this. Is this a big deal? You protect civilians so much. Russian military is putting Russian military in danger. Russian military is putting Russian military in danger by putting the bases into Ukrainian schools because, as we know, Ukrainian military loves striking Ukrainian schools. Come on, Russian military is going to suffer. Are you kidding me? Amnesty. Where are you in your human rights protections for Russian military? President Volodymyr Zelensky reported in a phone conversation with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, on Sunday. The conversation was focused on the earliest possible allocation of the next EU macrofinance tranche. Zelensky also emphasized that the need to prepare the 8th sanctions package, which should also include a ban on issuing visas for the Russian Federation citizens. They also coordinated steps to limit Russia's excess profits from oil and gas sales. The World Bank has approved 70 loans totaling more than 14.4 billion and 2.1 billion over 30 years of cooperation with Ukraine, of which 11.8 billion and 1.2 billion have been received so far. At least 3,500 missiles have been fired at Ukraine by the Russian Federation since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. 3,500 missiles. Do you know how many missiles were fired in Afghanistan since 2001 to 2022? 2021, in 20 years, a little over 600. And this is 6 months at 3,500 missiles. A Russian Mi-28 helicopter was shot down near Yewleea in the Zaporizhia region. Russia was deprived of the right to host the 2023 World Shooting Championship. The tournament was moved to Azerbaijan. That's a better host anyway. And to Zip Phone 111 on Twitch, who says, you know how much missiles shoot Hamas at Israel every year? That's nothing. Well, first of all, no whataboutism, but let's see. How many missiles? Let's see. First of all, that's whataboutism, and I'm not talking about Hamas, and I'm not talking about Israel, but let me check. How many missiles has Hamas fired at Israel? Let's see. Experts estimated the arsenal of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad at about total of 5,000 to 20,000 rockets. So that is around 5,000 to 20,000 rockets that they have total. Two, you're saying that they only fired 1,100 rockets in 2022. Well, that's cool. We're not going to compare tragedies, but there were 3,500 rockets fired at Ukraine in 2022 in the last 6 months. So I would say that you are still wrong, and that's not nothing. But also, again, it doesn't really matter. That's not what we're talking about. I'm just trying to give a visual interpretation of what's happening in my country based on conflicts that people consistently about and tell me we're way worse. Which, here's the thing, all wars are bad, but stop minimizing what's happening in Ukraine because it is quite large. And in comparison to a lot of other things that you're used to is very, very different. So that is the reason why I'm bringing it up. And if you'd like to talk about Hamas and the amount of rockets that it sends onto Israel every day or every year, then you're welcome to do so on your Twitch channel, which I see you have. So why don't you, instead of doing that on my channel, trying to interrupt my talking about the country where I was born, raised, and grew up until I was 16, a passport of which I hold, and which I love very much, why don't you go and do something productive and create a channel talking about Hamas and Israel? Because that'll be much more productive than interrupting my streams. Now go do that. The largest caravan with Ukrainian grain, 13 ships, left the ports of Odessa, the Ministry of Infrastructure reported. In particular, 6 ships left the Yuzhny port, 5 left from the Chernomorsky port, and 2 from the Odessa port. A total of 282.5 thousand tons of Ukrainian agricultural products are on board of these 13 ships, which are now sent to 8 countries of the world. The Ukrainian military has another replenishment of the exchange fund. The Center for Strategic Communications of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reports. According to journalist Andriy Saplienko, the photo shows Russian prisoners who are trying to storm the positions of the 79th Mykolaiv Airborne Brigade. Here they are now. Now, for TikTok and its censorship, these are people who are alive. They are not mistreated. There are no guns pointed at them. There's no violence happening. They're quite literally sitting on the ground awaiting transport into a POW facility. These people are just lying face down. Some are lying face up. They're not bleeding. They're not injured. Nothing is happening with them. Their hands are behind their back in order for them to not move and in order for them to not escape. They're being treated very normal for a prisoner of war. In fact, they're being treated a million times better than any Ukrainian prisoner of war. In Crimea, citizens noticed the transfer of a large column of Russian troops by rail. Denmark and Germany plan to build an energy island to reduce dependence on Russian gas, according to Bloomberg. According to the agency, Bornholm Energy Island will connect several wind farms and distribute the energy they produce between the 2 countries. This is how the occupiers stuff their shells with darts, so there are as many civilian casualties among the Ukrainians as possible. So this is a Russian missile, and it's being stuffed with darts. This is what Ukrainians find when these missiles explode. What happens when you do this is when a missile strikes and shrapnel starts flying around, these darts basically shoot out at incredible speed. And if you have a darts going to your neck, you are gonna die. So what they're trying to do is, first of all, these will fly much further than shrapnel. These will fly much faster than shrapnel, and they're much, 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 much more deadly than shrapnel because they are meant to strike you in the neck, in the head, in the heart, in the stomach, and they're meant to cause irreversible damage. Now imagine someone threw a darts into you with the speed of light. You would not survive that. So this is aiming to maximize the amount of victims. 100 billion of Russian reserves invested into the Chinese yuan are trapped because they're frozen, reports Bloomberg. Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas called on the world to continue isolating the Russian Federation until Ukraine expels its troops from its lands, ERR reports. Kherson region, this is how the base of the invaders looks like after it was fired at by HIMARS. So let's see the damage that HIMARS inflicts versus burning people alive in Olenivka. This is what a HIMARS, post-HIMARS strike damage looks like. That is incredibly different from what we saw in Olenivka. There is no building structure left, and the entire area around it is destroyed. There are no walls standing. This is a difference between a HIMARS strike and a burning of a facility. U.S. does not consider it necessary to impose visa restrictions on all Russians in connection with the Russian war in Ukraine. White House National Security Representative John Kirby. Oh yeah, of course, because Russian money is something that we all like, right? Russian money. We want the Russian money to flow into the U.S., right? That's why we don't want to do that. Oh my gosh. Can someone please block the bomb Ukraine? The goal of the Ukrainian offensive in the south is not only return of Kherson. Lawrence Friedman, emeritus professor of military studies at King's College London, writes in an article for the Financial Times. The Ukrainian army is preparing for a difficult and exhausting operation that will last all winter. A romantic marriage proposal from a Ukrainian defender. For sure, she said, yes, here is something to change the palette a little bit. cleanse the palate a little bit, and it's very sweet, and I think that we all are going to enjoy watching it. Thank you, Hector. Isn't that lovely? Doesn't that make your mood just instantly better? Russian invaders in Mariupol are removing the Z swastika from their vehicles, according to Ukrainian resistance representatives in the city. Russian officers who live with us from Yalta to Babakhtarma massively removed the Z swastika from their cars and stuck our AN and AR numbers instead of Russian license plates, the report says. So they want to blend in with Ukrainians because they know that Ukrainians are going to come and take back the city. I see. The Germany confirmed the need to increase the supply of heavy weapons to Ukraine, said the head of the Ukrainian government, Denis Shmyhal, after a meeting with Federal Chancellor Olaf Scholz. The invaders leaked the coordinates of their military base to Ukrainian hackers as they thought they were communicating with beautiful women. This is why I go on chat roulette. Ukrainian hackers reportedly used fake Facebook and Russian social media profiles of attractive women and tricked the occupiers into sending them photos, which were later geolocated and sent to the Ukrainian military. A few days later, the base was destroyed by Ukrainian artillery. That is a love story of your country, of Russia, where the man went to the Ukrainian front lines and this happened to him here. So here is Osman on a Russian troll on YouTube, and here's what he says, or she, or they, or it, I don't know. The man was unalived. The woman fled to Germany. A love story, and this is about the proposal. Well, here, honey, let me fix this for you. The man went to the Ukrainian front lines, and then what happened to him is exactly what you said. He went there from Russia. The woman was trying to flee to Germany, but Germany didn't let her in because she did not have enough money after all of the vodka she drank to apply for a visa, and also because Russians have a hard time getting visas. She went back to Novosibirsk, and now she married another Russian frontline person. And let me tell you, it is a vicious circle. Love story. The end. I love haikus, don't you? Attacks on the Antonievsky Bridge, view from the ferry crossing. Let's go. Oh, and I did forget to say that then the woman complained to her family that they did not get married before he came back, before he went to the front line. So now she cannot buy a Lada with all the money she was supposed to receive but didn't, because the bastard died before he came back and married her. So yes, I think that is about it for the love story of the two people from your native land. The landing ship's USS Kearsarge takes part in an international exercise in the Baltic Sea and amid Russia's war in Ukraine and tensions in the region, reports the Associated Press. The task of the exercises is to strengthen security in the region. Invaders settle in schools near Zaporizhia, hiding behind children as human shield. This is reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to them, in the village of Orlyanske, Zaporizhia region, about 70 invaders decided to settle in one of the schools where children study. In addition, the military equipment of the occupiers is located in the schoolyard. So now they're going to schools and setting up their bases in schools, not only in Melitopol, but in various cities around Ukraine. So Amnesty, look at your fortune telling. The only thing you got wrong was you were talking about Ukraine, not Russia. I would say, please reconsider your horrible mistakes and go advocate for Ukrainian children being put in danger by Russian military. Huh. You don't say you were right all along, just about the wrong country. And to think we all were so against you. Anyways, this is all the news I have for today. So we can hang out for a little bit. We can discuss. I can answer some questions. And thank you for staying through the entire newscast. And thank you for listening. And also, hey, I see we have many more people on Twitch today. Welcome, all of you. And I'm so glad that thank you so much for coming through that raid. I am talking to Dionysus, and I do have an idea of what I might want to interview him about. So hopefully stay tuned, and maybe we could do a joint news stream soon. So yeah. Nobody has any questions? Nobody has anything to ask? Everybody understood everything today? Hi, Jen. Good to see you. Did you just get here? I thought I saw you. Well. Oh, look at that. Proud man on YouTube. Look at that. Woman kidnapped by Ruski powers is another possibility. Rich people like you fled, poor people die there. Well, here is the thing, honey. I did not flee. I've been living in the United States for the past 11 years. And you know what I do? I raise money to donate to people so they can be able to leave their houses. And here's the thing. I see what you're doing there. You're pretending to be pro-Ukrainian and then casting doubt and saying that, you know, the government does not care about poor people. Well, we do have evacuation routes and shuttles, and no, a lot of them are able to evacuate, and a lot of them just don't want to leave. And yeah, actually, most people were able to be evacuated. There are some stubborn older people, and also you cannot blame someone for being able to leave. Being able to leave the country, you cannot blame them for that. And also, what makes you think I'm rich? What makes you think I'm rich, honey? Is that the fact that my clothes are clean and you are not able to do that in Russia? Is that the fact that I have a dog and you can't afford one in Russia? Is that the fact that I have a pillow? Or the fact that my apartment looks nice? Well, you can buy all these things quite affordably on Amazon, but you can't do that in Russia, can you? Is it the fact that my glasses are clear and not broken? I understand. Is it the fact that I do have glasses because I can afford an eye exam, which you can't in Russia? Is that what it is? Yes, I'm most certainly the richest person on the planet then, because I can afford basic human necessities. Oopsies. So, there is a question. Вообще есть один вопросик напоследок, что порусни. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Что такое, что порусни? Yes, sure, Momo likes you. You have a question. I see that that your keyboard is one of those Russian things, so let me know. Не знаешь, а что порусни? Oh no, they're from YouTube, from Twitch. It's like the trolls that get blocked here massively immigrate to Twitch and YouTube. We have like a mass migration situation going on. I feel like they want to feel online just like at home, where, you know, at home they're mass migrating. They're trying to mass migrate to Europe, but they're not able to. So they're they're basically, here's the situation. I feel like we are making them feel right at home, right? They come to TikTok, they get blocked, they get banned. So imagine that they come to the border of Russia and another place, they get turned around, they get blocked. So then they go to another border, right? And they get turned around and they get blocked, right? So this is what they do online too. They come to TikTok, they get blocked, they migrate to YouTube, they get blocked, they migrate to Twitch, they get blocked. So this is basically like just a normal cycle for Russians, you know, mass migration movements. I feel like they just want to feel at home online, and so that's why they're doing it. Anyways, Artemosha Rusni is, I see. I will know that for the future. Thank you for letting me know. I can't necessarily say this on stream because I feel like YouTube's not gonna like it, but I will for sure use it. It's okay, no worries, John. Or no worries, Grumpy. But yeah, so that was it for today. Invading to eat like zombies. Yep, pretty much. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to the news. Thank you for tolerating my voice for an hour and 45 minutes. Thank you, Silver Knight. Thank you for keeping up with Ukraine. Thank you for caring. Thank you for all of your donations. The fundraiser is still up, and I'm going to try to do either tonight or tomorrow, Labor Day. Thank you, Karine. I'm going to try to do another round of fundraising. And thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you very, 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 very much. And also, bye-bye, that's exactly where you're going to go, because although despite you like Ukrainian women who are white and benign, oh, I'm malignant. Oh, I am very, very malignant, honey. Oh, you have no idea how malignant I am. I'm the tumor you do not want to have on your little Russian brain. So I would suggest that you run away before one of my moderators catches up to you, because benign I am not. And trust me, this is a tumor you do not want to deal with. Anyways, thank you for all of the engagement you've provided to my news stream today, dear trolls. You have no idea how grateful I am to you. All of the money that I'm going to be able to donate to the armed forces of Ukraine once my YouTube gets monetized. Well, not armed forces, but rather frontline medics, buying uniforms for civilians who are in territorial defense, all of this stuff. Nothing military related. Just FYI, YouTube, in case you're watching. This is all for civilian purposes, just a disclaimer. Anyways, alrighty. Thank you, Pauline. I am really hoping to see you guys later tonight, and thank you for hanging out, and I shall see you later, and thank you for being here, and as always, thank you so very much for watching the news. I really appreciate all of you, and thank you, Nani Ria. Alrighty, I'm going to turn off YouTube first. Hi, 300 Life.